in week 4. First, I just want to apologize to our viewers. I was under the weather last week, so Alex uh, did not go alone without me. So, but we're gonna talk about some of those finishes for week 3, and then our picks for week 4. And so, um, Alex, your thoughts on your game? Uh, you guys played against the Rams. You had an exciting finish. You had two blocked field goals in one single game and a physical scoring touchdown. How did tell me what was you doing? I know you were probably screaming in front of the TV
I
going crazy.
they cannot believe what happened that week again. Well, but I can. That week, the Eagle, it was it was but back in the fourth quarter at the third quarter, combined, your for the fourth quarter, not even 3 yards. That bad. I
Yeah,
mean,
but look, all right, so they did not play well, and then they started letting Hurts take the gloves off. He started being able to make his own calls. This is when the game started to turn around in the fourth quarter. When he started making his own calls, the offense started looking the way it did last year. And boy, what a change in the game. Now, even with that being said, no one expected the special teams to do what they did. But that to me was incredible. I mean, that was exciting. That literally was like that's what football is about. Like that's what I watch the NFL about because it's like those kind of moments, they're historic. And you see something like that, you can't help but jump out of your seat, whether you're a fan or not a fan. It's unreal. It's just so unreal. And that was exciting. And
I,
so that was great gameplay.
you like, I think, but I don't know what about we three, but that team, Black Fruit, you got the
Yeah, the
Jet,
Jets. The Jets also exciting.
you got,
Unfortunately, it came at a loss,
yeah,
but again, special teams stepped up and had an exciting moment. The New York Jets. You're right. Absolutely.
but
And look, let's let's talk about Daniel Jones because listen, this guy looks like he's been in the league a million years. He looks like Peyton Manning or um a what do you call it? Drew Bledsoe in them. Like this guy really looks like he not only belongs in that uniform against at playing as a Colt, but man, I wonder if Minnesota, has second thoughts that they did not hold on to him. But the Colts are looking fantastic, and so here we are, second player that have left the New York Giants, and now look like they made a major mistake letting him go. So your thoughts, your thoughts.
yeah, coming into before we got away at the good 3 week return for me. I got a great week of football for because we got away at least for our pick. For, uh,
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, but
so
they played some real teams. They played some division rivals. They played some conference rivals. Denver was in the playoffs last year. That was only a few months ago. They have one of the best defenses right now in the league, and it looked like they were not going to win the game the way that game ended. But then they got a second chance due to a penalty, and they kicked the field goal and they won the game. That game was came down to the wire, literally, and his performance was incredible. His stats, his numbers, they're there. There's no. It's not like he's playing against teams that aren't, decent teams. This young man is playing really well. And then on the Giants end, they bring in Russell Wilson, which is a veteran and obviously a little older, and they have not won a game yet. They're 0-3. So if you're in the Giants organization, how do you view what we're seeing right now? Second player has now left your organization. Look like he's looking like an all-pro career. He's having the best game of his entire NFL career. Is his best season so far. He got 3 games in, and this guy is looking unbelievable. His quarterback rating is unbelievable. The yardage is there, touchdowns there. I mean, he's not turned the ball over really. So it's like, what do you say?
It about how you do this to put this is like blocking with the opportunity. For me, I got this keyword of about a quarterback because you see what happened with the quarterback problem in the blocking again all over again this year. But for me, that to remove everybody to the free agency before the NFL draft, before preseason, and before we are the football season, not enough hurting because there's no high call about a quarterback. And it hurting because they had him 2 years ago or a year ago. They moved him to Brooklyn to get drafted. Okay, fine. And this for the whole free of maybe photo by tomorrow for for a lot of people about the team like rocket team. You 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 think you can have hope for both rocket and you or both GM? I believe so. I believe the two GM and the two head coaches made a big mistake. Let him go to a team that needs a quarterback. I almost left to I almost left to put out 2 years ago. Then let him put over 2 years ago. And now you see this this team made an unbelievable and this so come on. You made a big mistake. You caught them. Maybe a new maybe a head coach at the so that's what I think. Those two teams made a big mistake.
Well, especially the Giants, but to me, what it shows is that the Giants, whatever it is their formula is in New York, isn't working. You're bringing in talent, and talent has left. And this, I know, obviously Barkley was the one, but we know he was special. He was truly a special athlete. But then everyone looked at the 6 years that Daniel Jones put in with the Giants, and they were like, yeah, you know what? He wasn't necessarily a good quarterback. Duke isn't known for producing great players. They don't typically draft a whole bunch of their kids from college. So he was a little under the radar, even though he went as a first overall pick. But even other players that the Giants have pulled in on the defensive side, they let go last year, also had phenomenal seasons. They went on to the Packers and played really well, had a great season. But they were with New York previously, and then they they it was like they were shackled. These people wasn't allowed to play, be the characters they needed to play, and go and win games. And it seemed like once these people get out from underneath, this organization, they shine around the league. And it's crazy that whatever this organization is bringing in great talent, they seem to not know what to do with it, and then the talent ends up being wasted, or they go someplace else and they become better off, which is sad because you had those people. So tell me, what was the difference between when they came to you versus when they go to another organization. To me, it comes down to coaching and your staff and your ability, your front office, and what you guys are, whatever it is you're doing isn't working because it shows. It shows when the talent can leave like that. I mean, we've seen this same thing with the Jets, right? Geno Smith, first overall pick, he leaves, he moves around the league. The guy goes elsewhere, gets with a true great coach for a quarterback, improves his footwork and everything else, and then he looks like an all pro. We've seen this with Sam Donald, another first round pick from the Jets. Same thing, move around, went to Carolina, there, boom, bam. He goes to Minnesota last year. The guy shines, and then so it's like it's just sad that these people come in and the only thing that seems to be the big focus point when they come in from the draft is contracts and how much money, and not so much in developing the players to making them to so we can see the talent that these kids really have when they come out of school. That's what I see. I think it's a failure with some of these organizations because that's what they want to focus on first, versus do I have the right personnel around this individual so that we can get the gifts and talent that this person has that they had when they were in their college, versus coming to our organization. And we're not seeing that. We're not seeing these people be developed to their best talent.
Okay.
But um, so, was there any surprises last week that because again, I know we didn't have a chance to go over week 3 beforehand because I was under the weather. But to me, the biggest surprise was the Browns Packers. The Browns pulled
Eh,
off that win.
eh,
I know you wasn't expecting that, and neither was I, because we both picked the Packers in that sense. Even though our picks was not public, we made our picks. That was a surprise, and I picked the Jets over the Bucks, figuring they would pull this out. But the Bucks, they were determined to get that win in the fourth quarter. That last drive, man, unbelievable. The Jets went into a prevent defense and they marched right down the field and right through
and
the
the Broncos again, unbelievable. Get the Apple, I get the Broncos almost at the overtime.
the other
Uh,
surprise was the Panthers Falcons.
yeah,
I did not see the Falcons getting blown out, not even getting points on the board. Oh my God, did not see that going with a division rival. Definitely picked the Falcons over them, but as you can see, the Panthers blew them up. I was quite surprised in that.
I know
Um,
I know the part is supposed to not at the Cardinal game, supposed to not
yeah,
what
1 point game,
what the
16,
people
15.
at the football and it supposed to not win the free
My game of the week was definitely the Chargers and Broncos game. That game came down. That was a heck of a game. Division rival. Chargers are 3-0 in their division. Very impressive gameplay to start off the season. They had some really hard opponents there. Started off with the Chiefs, and now they took down the Broncos. Very
what
impressive what they're bringing to the table.
what
We
what
all know that the Cowboys got trashed by the Bears. To
yeah
me, that was not a surprise. I definitely was going with the Bears in this, so that was interesting. And then, of course, the Steelers versus the Patriots. That game was kind of, you know, uh, had a little flow to it, but Steelers pulled off the victory. Um, the Giants versus the Chiefs. Giants came out. They had motivation in play, but we knew what was coming. That
yeah
Patrick Mahomes and them were not going to go 0-3, so they're 1-2. And then the game that was pretty entertaining was Monday Night Football, Lions Ravens, and the daring attacks of the Lions against that Ravens defense. Unbelievable, and that Lions defense getting after Lamar and just really dealing with the running game, causing fumbles and turnovers. That was impressive by them. Thursday night football was the Cardinals and Seahawks, and as we know, the Seahawks pulled off that victory against the Cardinals. Um, And now we're going to go into week 4. And so, first game up, which I'm not sure if it is this game still happening overseas? It's supposed to be at 9 a.m.
Yeah,
The Vikings and
no more.
Steelers, or was that postponed or moved to a different location?
No, it got me that. It
Okay.
was, I guess, in the morning. American time out there. So, different. So, so, so I thought I was actually 1:30. Maybe, yeah, 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. So, the first game overseas, uh, that's for the, the, the,
Brazil game.
the blue game, but this is truly overseas. So, yeah, next week in the morning, American time, 5 uh, but over there, over the, um, yeah, the game will be good and over the,
Steelers or Vikings? Steelers or Vikings? Who you got?
I got the game luck game, I very got game, so,
I'm gonna
over,
go with the Steelers with this one. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers can pull a victory off against the Vikings there.
I guess
Okay,
we got over the game for Ella, we got everything.
okay. Titans and Texans. Now the Texans have completely surprised me this season. They're 0-3. I did not imagine or even picture that happening. They were a much better team last year. Not sure exactly what's happening there and why they're not able to finish games and pull them off, but they're playing a division rival. We know that the Titans is in a kind of a rebuild stage. They got their great number one pick, their quarterback. And so, who do you got winning this game?
Give me a bit but you will not go over for I believe you will get the win of the Titans.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Texans with this. I agree with you. I think the Texans will get their first victory. I can't imagine them going 0-4 in September. We're going to see there. I think they'll get at least one. Eagles and Bucks, one of your nemesis. Now, the Eagles have always struggled against this organization. What's your thoughts?
Every everything I could put out a couple of ago, so I could book you beat them. Uh, couple of ago, I could put out a lot. Yeah, have a difficult time with the booking. So we got a lot of history. I get the booking. So the game is gonna be and to watch. The point is for the Tampa Bay. Uh, yeah, give me a go beat the Eagles to get but, but 1 point game. Okay, again.
I think the Eagles win, and I think the Eagles this time will do a little bit better of a job than 1 point. I think they're going to probably win by 14. I say that if they allow for Hurts to make the calls at the line again, unshackling him, I think the Eagles will win.
And,
I don't see them having that much of a
and,
struggle.
and,
So,
both teams are free looking for 4 or looking for 3-1.
yeah. And so, next up is Panthers Patriots. Um, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, 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 Pepper will get the win over the Patriots. I believe so.
I'm gonna go with the Patriots. I'm just gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna pick the Patriots with this one. You got Giants versus the Chargers, and we know, yes, the Giants are hurting. They're also claiming they're gonna go ahead and possibly start Dart um in this matchup. I don't think, look, at the end of the day, I get it. Their season's probably officially over after losing to the Chiefs. Not that because they have 3 losses in, folks, but just so that you know, the Giants have an extremely tough schedule. Um, with them not having all the pieces and components that they really need to compete, they're doing a pretty decent job of competing, but it's not enough to get past some of these teams that they have lined up ahead of them to play. So I'm just being a little realistic. So I think at this point, they're going to probably try to start Dart and get him more involved with the offense just to try to see if they can turn something around and get a victory. Because if they don't do something at the end of the day, then they're going to probably be the first team to go 0-17 in the season, which some people already predicted before the season started. They did look great in the preseason, but in all honesty, it was preseason. The Chargers is looking really well. They're 3-0. So what do you got?
Yeah, this could be a bad mistake from to begin to recall about the actually it got a but a book out of a new apple a remote that the food every every drop that they have to keep it go of the raw apple looking. It got be a book out.
So you don't think the Giants defense can do enough? Because look, they've been in their games. It's not as if they wasn't in their games. It's just that they don't have the components they need to close and finish. And again, we kind of knew this before the season started that this was going to be a
No,
huge mountain of a task of the New York Giants. Now
yeah,
I'll go back to my same message I've been saying from the start. I believe the owners should have moved on from the coach and GM and should have started off fresh this year considering, but he didn't, and he gave these gentlemen a
no,
another
yeah.
year to
Uh,
try to
yeah,
turn
yeah,
things around this season. Now I felt they had a I truly in my heart I felt they had a good draft, and I thought they made some good moves in the off season with free agency to get some components on the defense. And they've been very competitive. I do not see a blowout. I would be quite surprised if the Chargers do end up blowing them out. But I do believe that the Giants will probably lose by, let's say 16 points in this game. I do believe the Chargers will still come out victorious against New York here. Okay, we're going to move on from that and Saints and Bills.
yeah,
Now, I'm just going to tell you the Bills are obviously favored. The Bills are home. Saints obviously have not looked good all season so far for these three games. And so a lot of people think this is going to be a blowout. The point spread against the Saints is huge. But I'm like, look, the Saints don't play well on the road. And if it is hard to win in Buffalo, I don't think that necessarily is going to be that bad, but it could be. So what do you say?
yeah, people think this game gonna be a blowout, but I think this game gonna be difficult for New Orleans. They coming in Buffalo is difficult. Ha, it up north, up in New York. It get cool and New Orleans like the had a dome. So this game is a big game for New Orleans fan. Um, it's a big game for Gecko too.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten a victory yet.
No, but I believe it's gonna be the bill of the day. I believe the bill. We got,
I say the
we
Bills
got,
win by 9.
we got
I
be
don't think it'll be a
out.
blowout the way
No,
people think. I
no,
think it'll be a 9 point game,
no.
something like that.
I believe it's gonna be a 15-point game over.
Well, that's what the press says. The press says it's like a 16 point
But they got a book
spread.
out. Uh,
So
a book out
I'm
means
just saying
pretty.
I think it's gonna be closer. I don't think they make the point spread. I think the Saints will still lose, but I think they'll lose by 9. I think I'm gonna go with the Bills, obviously. With this one, it just makes sense. The Bills are at home, they're playing really well. Um, And then you got after that for 1 o'clock games, you have the Commanders versus the Falcons. Now the Falcons, I don't know what happened to them last week. Why they wasn't able to get points on the board, and now they're going up against the Commanders. Now, even though the Commanders don't have Daniel, he's technically injured at this point. But um, who do you got?
Yeah, I got this one. I got this one. If you're an Eagle fan or Buccaneers fan, um, because that angel the root is up there, and it's that type of day. It can win or lose. What it might win or lose. Look at it, but the game. Look at what happened to that league. Pepper came there, came, uh, thought of me last team, don't know what happened there, but anyway,
They
move,
ripped those birds apart.
move on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me what after me what it'll get it win over to connect.
I I agree. I think the Commanders will get this victory over the Falcons. And then last for 1 o'clock games is Lions versus Browns. Now the Lions obviously just came off this Monday night game that had a shorter day, a shorter week than the Browns did because the Browns played on Sunday. Uh, they went against the original Browns slash Ravens, and now they're going against the actual Browns, Cleveland Browns. So um, this is going to be something else. Can the Browns get two upsets, or will the Lions pull this victory off impressively like they did Monday night?
Well, absolutely, this game is not against the line. Just because the black gets out there again, Green Bay, uh, uh, and and coming into before take a buck get the up this get the chance, but I think they need a little bit more into it. We do a factor anything happen into a factor. Um yeah yeah anything can happen, but I could say giving a brown, I believe a brown against Detroit by 3 points. It will kill a free goal. It will be good to get it over there.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Lions on this one. So I'm gonna deal with them. And now 4 o'clock games, you have the Colts versus the Rams. Can Daniel Jones pull it off again for 4 straight weeks? Him and his team, can they pull it off and get an upset against the Rams? The Rams came off that horrible loss against you guys. I can only imagine what they must be feeling trying to block that out of their head. But if the Colts get a good jump start on them, they might start reliving last week's performance. Who knows? So I'm gonna say I'm gonna go, with the Colts here. Let's see. I'm gonna cheer on Daniel Jones and see if he could pull this victory off against the Rams. Who do you got?
Well, got a hot book, I get it go two back black free goal. Uh, 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 yeah, hot book. How, how, what about that? For that? Well, yeah, yeah. Say about the upcoming game against the Colts. Remove it from the mind and say about this game against the Colts. But can it be for the first time if it becomes for this is the first time in his career
He'll be
that
4-0. That's correct. You're right, son. You're right.
this will be history at this we look back this will look back on look like at the Rockins. So my pick to win the game, Steve is gonna be cold. I believe the cold will get the win over the road and become 4 that's basically court basically for his career and look at that on Rocket and New Earth.
It would. I think the Colts win by 2. I think they'll get the victory. Jags and 49ers. Now, this is a rare matchup, these two teams. Who do you got in this one? The 49ers, to me, has been quite a bit of surprise. I've picked against them
I,
every week,
I,
and
I,
they've won every single game.
I,
Uh,
I got the part that I put in that everyone is that about it can do that. You told me that the head coach probably use that. I don't think though. So I figured out that without a quarterback, but but the quarterback is back in week 4. Our buffer is return. A couple couple weeks ago, he got hurt. Coming to the game by putting make it with her don't know how he gonna be putting. But for me, I got give me the first thing I believe the first thing I will be put to to kick off this and have
okay,
it
so I'm going to keep my streak going, and I'm going to still vote against them. And I'm going to say the Jacksonville Jaguars will get their first victory, and they will win this week against the 49ers. They'll get an upset. Browns and Raiders. Okay. Browns and Raiders. Who do you got?
Well, I got give me grit. I believe grit will cut that ever we feel out again. What the game?
Does does Brady come out of retirement and do
No,
it himself?
no, no, no. Okay, how about you?
I'm going to go with the Bears with this one. I think this is going to be a pretty decent game between these two. I think there's going to be a lot of points on the board. And here's my prediction. I think it is going to be 37-30 Bears.
Okay,
That's it.
yeah,
Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, nothing. I thought for sure you would add
no,
something to say. Okay.
no,
All right.
because I like what a picture of a chicken a couple with top button. So yeah, that
Okay. Okay. The last 4 o'clock game before we go on to Sunday night football and Monday night football. Ravens Chiefs. This is a rematch from last year. Oh my God. Let me tell you. First game during the regular season, they played that came literally down to the wire and a little nit of a toe on the white line. And Chiefs pulled that victory off. And then, of course, we know what happened in the playoffs against the Bills. They got a complete upset against the Ravens and knocked them out of the playoffs. So we didn't get to see a rematch of Lamar versus Patrick Mahomes, but we get to see that at 4:25 tomorrow. So who you got?
Jesus, Baltimore. I got a great which this pickle yeah I get the more the place up there I get more I believe more got the better record I get
Uh,
I get the more
Yes, that is correct. That is
okay
true.
okay so yeah both team both the team um ha had had a rough couple of weeks of football but we got the Bill Baltimore game Bill won yeah, yeah, catch me in a game, and it was not a big deal. And the receivers the catch you in Baltimore win the that week Baltimore win the that week Baltimore lost and catch me was the team have a rough kick off for Chelsea fucking but for me I got that give me Paramount actually a traffic a creature to me
Uh, Okay, I'm gonna go
overall.
with Harbaugh and the Ravens here. I think Derrick Henry and them are going to get it together because I think that whole game against Detroit, there was a lot of stuff like, look, we all know that Campbell, he's not a traditional coach, and he put some plays out there that the Ravens and Harbaugh and them did not expect. He did it at weird times when you think they would do everything a certain way, like you would punt when you're supposed to punt. You would kick field goals and this, that, and other. And he didn't do none of that. He came at them hard, like playing like John Madden. He just started pulling all kinds of plays out of the playbook that none of us have seen before at weird times in that game. And it caught the Ravens completely off guard. And then on the defensive side, they caused some turnovers and they inched out a win and had an 8-point win. So to me, the Ravens going to want to bounce back and they're going to be looking at Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes at him and saying, "Look, we remember what happened last year. We got a lot to prove right now, and we can't let you get through this because if they let the Chiefs win and the Chiefs start getting back on a winning streak, forget about it." So I'm going to just go on a limb and I'm going to pick the Ravens and Harbaugh and them. I think Denver Henry has to make up for his fumbles back to back weeks of losing that ball, which gave the Bills their victory, and then Monday night gave the Lions their victory. Packers Cowboys for Sunday Night Football. Um, I'm just going with the Packers. There's not a long speech with this one, so I'm just going with the Packers. It's simple. Packers all day. I think Packers take care of the Cowboys.
Yeah, yeah, they're not gonna be out the but but they got lost it that is hurt me for for that football game. And Marcus put was
Yeah, he's
put
going to be motivated a lot. I
to
don't want to be
the platform.
Prescott
No,
because he's probably going to be in Prescott's face all night long. I can only imagine. Now, look, Monday Night Football got a double header, folks. Double header. This is the second time that they're doing Monday Night Football. If you're able to see both games, that's great. But let's see. You have the Jets versus the Dolphins. This is a classic matchup. Division rival playing on a Monday Night Football. Um, and then second game later in the night on Monday Night Football is Bengals and Broncos. So, Alex, who do you have? Dolphins versus Jets.
uh, yeah, both of them uh, on a free Martin. Um, Martin is a pretty good week 14 football game. We almost in that football, I believe. Both the teams need a win to 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 keep the vaccine in my life mentally and physically. Uh, and in Miami, this could open the door for co-owners and remove the head coach. And yeah, both the teams are free. Um, give me a bit get up get the win. I mean, one free.
I'm going to go with the Jets here as well. I'm just going to keep it simple. I think the Jets have been in, except for the one game, they've been in their games. They got to learn to finish though, because it's the fourth quarter is when things are happening and going wrong for them. And those last 15 minutes, you can't just play for the first three quarters and then give away all your hard work in the fourth. The fourth is when it matters the most, and they need to hold on to that. Bengals Broncos.
Yeah, yeah, and not that they that the team.
I'm gonna just tell you, the Bengals, believe it or not, is favorite, even though the Broncos are home. I was surprised to see that.
Eh, though but I your book is gonna be out for 3 months. Basically, go to football because football is
5 months, 6 months,
no
basically
4 months. 4 months in the correct and 2 months. Uh,
postseason.
hopefully, so basically, he's gonna be out. If they make the make it to put off and but I was fit so not because what because they got called the problem there. So give me a got a big block who gets it we but nah boy out no but 2 points.
I don't know what everyone is seeing on the professional side, why they decided to pick the Bengals to win in Mile High Stadium, which is a task in itself. And the Broncos have been playing some really hard football. They're due to get a victory, but you know something? Whatever it is they're seeing, they must be seeing, even though Joe Burrow's not there. And you know how I am about the Bengals. So I'm just going to step out on that limb and I'm going to cross my fingers and say, go Bengals, and see what the Bengals bring to the table. Now, I know you probably shake your head right now.
No,
Okay.
no, I not that again, again.
I know logic says pick the Broncos because they are at home. And trust me, I've seen many a
No,
game, many a teams go up there that was better than the Broncos and still lost because they were playing in Mile High Stadium. So, but for whatever reason, there's something that they're seeing that I am not aware of. I don't know what kind of reports or whatever is happening. But the fact that they picked them to be favorites, that surprised me quite a bit.
okay,
Okay.
uh,
Thursday
something
night football. You got Rams and 49ers. First matchup of the season for these two teams and the division rivals. We all know that the 49ers and Rams got a long, long history. Um, Now I've been picking against the 49ers, so I'm gonna stick with that. And I think Rams bounce back and get this victory Thursday night
uh,
football
uh, uh,
against the 49ers.
for me, I got in the first note as soon as I get around. So we got the come immediately five um the game to watch for week 4 is the Eagles and Buccaneers. I believe
No, it's not fair. You're picking your own team.
no, but
I
not
say the
why.
game to watch out for week 4. I'm going to say the game that's going to probably be exciting tomorrow is probably going to be uh, the Chiefs and Ravens game. I think that's going to be the game to pay attention to between those two because they're both hurting right now. They both were in the playoffs last year. One of the two of them went to the Super Bowl last year, and I know the other one is tired of seeing that other one go to the Super Bowl every year. I believe there's a chip on the shoulder. This is not going to be a pretty game. We might even see a ton of injuries because people might just be that angry playing just because, not because of anything else, just because these two teams got a lot to prove to one another. And Andy Reid is and Patrick Mahomes has had the winning record against Hardball and Lamar since Lamar came in the league. But honestly, I think that's going to be the game to watch. And the crazy part is that's not even a primetime game. It should be a
No,
primetime game. It's at 4 o'clock.
if
Oh my
they not,
God, that's going to be something else.
uh, 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 we won't know those the things. But you can put it up. That game, if you won, a million games to watch.
Yeah.
Tell
So
me, I can't believe it's gonna be restarted after the football.
yeah, yeah, it's
The
going
world,
fast, son.
the
It's going
world,
fast.
the world football.
Oh, I just want to give some kudos uh to Judge with the Yankees.
Oh,
He got a incredible contract. At least that's the rumors of it. Congratulations to that young man, and it looked like he's gonna be finishing his career as a Yankee. Um, just keep doing your thing, and we'll see what happens with these playoffs.
yeah,
So
being put up. Is that like the corner? I thought about it for. Is that like the corner?
yeah, so okay,
Um,
we're gonna leave it there,
yeah,
folks.
we fought it. Tomorrow. I like again live. I like again to a film. Hopefully, a football. Then that, then that, then the last 3 weeks of football come into week 4.
Yes, yes, yeah, exciting. This has been an exciting 2025 season so far, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, Eagles, Bucks, Ravens, Chiefs. Pay attention to those games, folks. There you have it from Alex and Felix Sports Talk.
And we see you in week
X
5.
five.